Welcome to my collection. This is my Star Wars Kenner 1977 to 1985 collection. There's a few food items thrown in, but this is the centerpiece. This is what everybody's eye goes to. So we'll talk about this first. This is from Kenner photographer Kim Simmons, and it's the Empire prototype 12-inch dolls. Now, of course, they ended up never making them. The highlight, if you see Lando here, that's a Hardy Boys figure painted black. Mr. Simmons did 125 copies of this print, and this is number 1. So we'll go over the whole thing. We'll start on the top shelf. These are all just the Empire boxes, and these are all versions in the snow, which if you look at this, the Twin Pod Cloud car was never in the snow. It was on Cloud City. That doesn't make any sense, but... And if you come over here, here's the Dagobah play sets. This one's very common. This is the more rarer box. If you see here, it came with a Jedi training pack. The base itself is much darker. R2 has the sensor scope. It's very different. This one's pretty rare. This here is the Cantina. Pretty rare. It's not in the best condition, so I have it in an acrylic case so it sits up. It is in there. Of course, it comes with blue snaggletooth. Here's a collection of some 12-inch figures, and it goes all the way into the case. And here's Luke, and Jawa, and these were mine as a little kid. I had these this whole time, and they're complete. And I have some more 12 inches. They're up here. IG-88, he's the rarest one. He couldn't fit in the case. Boba Fett, Stormtrooper, C-3PO, the Yoda puppet. If you look behind him, here's the 2 versions of Jabba. This is the Sears line box. So you could have gone to the Sears catalog and ordered it, and it shipped to your house. This is like the Amazon of the 80s. This is the version that was in stores everywhere. We'll look at the case. Are you able to back up? See the whole case? This case itself was pretty expensive and very, very heavy. If you look in, here's the very first piece. It's the Star Wars Early Bird certificate. Advertised the first 12 figures, and you could get the first 4. These 3 are 3 of the 12. They're called 12 backs because on the back there's just 12 figures. And this is the Jawa Sandcrawler, which everybody likes, with some Jawas. And if you look closely, this is the Sandcrawler Jawa coin. The Power of the Force coin. I'm not a big fan of collecting the coins, but that one was neat because it included the Sandcrawler. And right next to this is really one of the last pieces of Star Wars. This is all 6 figures from the Ewok line. Complete, mint, accessories, and coin. Those are very rare to collect all of them. Under here, this is the Power of the Force Jabba's dungeon. If you look over here, here's the regular dungeon. So that's kind of cool. But this one, I love this one because of a man-to-man. That's the Power of the Force one, and that's really rare. If you want to come around here, these are some cool figures. This is Neem Num. This is the ledy overstock. So if you know this story, ledy was the Kenner equivalent in Mexico. When the plant closed, all the loose figures were still around. So someone scooped them up, and these ended up in flea markets. In all different versions. See, his vest wasn't painted on there yet, and he is not sonic welded. So he's loose like that, and it's graded to show how rare it is. Here's a loose version of the ATST driver. As you can see, his glove isn't painted. His other foot's not painted. He's not sonic welded. Again, these are ledy, Mexico. This one here is Takara, I think. This is from Japan. They never made an American version of the wind-up. It's graded. Next to him this is the last figure in the Droids lineup. This is Vlix. And I have to confess, this is not the original. This is a copy of the prototype. It's still rare. But if it was the original, I think it would be like $30,000, $35,000. I actually read Leonardo DiCaprio owns one. I don't know how true that is, but I read that. Behind him, speaking of Lily Ledy, this is the 12-inch Mexican. That's not a bootleg. That's the one that's sold in stores. Very different from the Kenner one. The Kenner one hovers over that. He is missing his cape. He's missing his chest plate, but yeah, that's the Lily Ledy 12-inch Vader. In the back are the 3 Power of the Force mini rigs. So if you look up here, the early bird kit, that's the very first thing from Kenner Star Wars. This is the last thing, the 3 mini rigs. And right up here, this is from the Sears 3-pack. These came in the mail. This is like the Endor version, or the End of Jedi version, however you want to call it. And all in their Kenner baggies. And if you go down here, this is the skiff. Everybody loves the skiff. It's pretty expensive. It's pretty rare. Here it is loose. And if you could look behind it, that's the photograph from Kim Simmons of the box of the droid's prototype. And that is number 2 of 125. Of course, they never made it in the droid's prototype, so that's the only thing that exists from it. And going down, this continues the Power of the Force. These are the carded figures. There were 17 in the series. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I own 7 of the 17. And this one's my favorite, Han in Carbonite. And finally, on the bottom shelf, this is all 98 loose Star Wars figures, complete with accessories, from A New Hope in 77, all the way down to the 1985 Power of the Force. And most of these, from here over, were all mine as a little kid. There were a few at the end, like Prune Face, I remember, and B-Wing I did not have. I bought those in later years. I had Anakin because he was a mail away, but I had to go around and buy all of these. To put it in perspective, these, like the first 12, I was in kindergarten when those came out. By the time Power of the Force came out, I was in the 8th grade. So I was a little too old to be collecting toys. Well, look at me now. But especially at that time, I was done and collected those years later. So that's my favorite part of the collection. This is kind of cool. This came from Burger King. This was the display piece that actually hung in the restaurant. Or restaurant, however you want to call it. The Burger King, the fast food. These glasses aren't rare. Everybody has the glasses. But the fact that this is the display piece that hung in the store, it makes it rare. Like I said, I got a couple food things. Here's the C-3PO cereal. And this isn't rare at all, but this is still one of my favorites. This is Star Wars to me. This is the Wonder Bread card set. You might be getting a glare over that. Every kid in the neighborhood had these. They literally came in loaves of bread, and you could collect them all. Most of those are my original ones from 1977. I upgraded a few of them from eBay just so makes a better display. Go over here. This is a really cool piece. This is the speeder bike. You had to win this. Now, less than 300 of these are made, so they say. You had to win this. This is from People magazine, and you could cut this out and mail it in. Now, naturally, I didn't win this, but somebody did, and I bought this a few years ago. It's not in perfect shape, but it's in pretty good shape. I really like it. Over here, these are some of the bigger things. AT-AT Walker, Millennium Falcon in an Empire box, the Star Destroyer. This was cool. This is the Dewback, and if you look behind it, this is also from the collection of Kim Simmons. I'll move this, where this is his actual photograph. This is number 2 of 125. And you can see on the actual box how much they trimmed up his work. Here you could see where he had a lot of stones. It's just a really cool piece, and here they had cut him out. And next to it's the Ranker. This is actually very common, but I had this next to a picture. This is my old friend Dustin Diamond, Screech. This was him in Christmas of, this would probably have been 84 that he got the Ranker. 5 years later, he'd be on Saved by the Bell. Sadly, Dustin passed away. He's not with us anymore, but I always keep this picture around there. This is the display. I forget what they call it. But this is pretty cool because this is one of the early things. And the Cantina. This is also from Burger King, if you look up. This hung in stores. That's the actual display piece that hung in stores that advertised the glasses. And when you go up, here are the original ships: X-Wing, TIE Fighter, Darth Vader TIE Fighter. Over here, I have all the Micro Machines. I'm not a big fan of them, but I had them all. And I had them all displayed here, and I took them down because I was making the Biker Scout thing. Because I thought the Biker Scout was cool. Down here, I'm doing more loose figures. This is really cool. This is the 2-pack. It's where they just tossed in any random figures together. This is IG-88, Admiral Akbar. Here's Anakin on a Tri-Logo card. I always like the Anakin because, I mean, it's such a bad picture. It's not even in the movie. Here he is, loose, graded. And this is a neat, here's that Lily Letty again. See, I never knew of any of this until, eBay and the internet. This is Neem Num, and this is an actual card. You can see the Lily Letty logo. Of course, it's open. It's not on the bubble, but if you look at the back, as much as you might know, the backs of Star Wars cards, it's completely different. And look, see here, he has the vest. And in my overstock version, the vest wasn't painted. Salacious Crumb sealed in the bag. These are, I've been collecting for so long, but there was about 10 years I actually stopped collecting. And then when COVID came up, this is the summer of 2020, summer of COVID, I started buying up loose graded. So here's a couple. Then I was buying them, I just thought, I don't need these. So then I kind of sold a bunch of them back. The one of the many great things about collecting Star Wars, you're never stuck with anything. You can always just go on eBay and it will sell. And I ended up making money. That wasn't even my point of selling them. I still kept a couple. But if you come down here, this is pretty funny. This is the Gamorrean Guard. This is Kenner, 1983. This is Robin Hood Friar Tuck, Kenner, 1991. And when you open them up, you see they just used the same body. They didn't even try to pretend. But you would never know that seeing him in his robe over here. So here he is carded. There they are loose. And these are kind of neat. I mean, I like them. Some people don't like them. This is the 90s VHS video before the special edition. This is graded, sealed, and graded. I mean, it almost looks like a trophy sitting on your... And I got Empire and I got Jedi. Some people online despise graded videos. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know. I like it. And this is a bootleg of the Star Wars Holiday Special. Got this on eBay. No, not even eBay. I got this before eBay. It was called like Toy Biz or Toy Shop. It was like a weekly newspaper where they would sell things. And you literally mailed a check to, some guy and you got it in a few weeks. Here's some other things. We talked about them. Oh, I saw online where people would pick a figure and collect all the variations. So I just thought that was neat. So I picked Lando Skiff. So here he is, Lando Skiff on a Jedi card with an Anakin offer. Here's a Tri-Logo card. Here's variations of degrees of shading. This is a bootleg figure. It's got all the carvings of it. Here is loose complete. Here is loose complete and graded. And here is Lily Letty overstock parts. You can see those are the legs, but they are not painted. They don't have the boots or the straps. And his head does not have his black hair or his black mustache. Very cool. Lando Skiff. Cloud City, this is pretty rare. Mini rig. Mini rigs aren't rare. They're probably the cheapest things to own. But this is a special. It came with a bagged figure. Those were really hard to come by. And here's Slave One. Everybody likes that. The Boba Fett. The Emperor Mail Away. And lastly, what I have over here look over here. These are animated cells from the Droids and Ewoks cartoon. See, Droids in blue. Ewoks are in green. I have a bunch of these. I actually have some of these on eBay right now because I don't need that many. I was just collecting them, and I kind of ran out of room to hang things up. And lastly, here's one more piece from Kim Simmons' collection, or the last piece I have. Again, number 2. I always have, I think, 1 or 2. This is MTV7. If you look up what it really looks like, this is a prototype box. Has the Jabba figures that never came out. The box ended up just using the Empire box again, which I think were the Snowtroopers. So that's super rare. And yeah, well, I think I talked about everything. So this is my collection. This is the desk I sit at. So this is my view all day long. I collected some of the Phantom Menace because everybody did, but I don't display any of that stuff. So, okay, well, thanks for checking it out. Here's the collection.
The Force will be with you, always.